Hey everybody, it's Colette Baron-Reid and my most favorite human on the planet, Deborah.
Besides your husband, besides your
Yeah,
husband.
yeah, besides Mark. Well, whatever. The second perfect person. It's Deborah Silverman. As you all know, she is the quintessential psychologist astrologer to the stars. If you only knew her roster, you would die. But anyway, she's also my BFF. And we have had such phenomenal responses from you guys from our first 6-month predictive reading that she and I did at the beginning of 2021. So here we are again, and we are launching the next 6 months starting July 2021. We're going to go all the way to December, and we're going to mix it up a little bit. Deb might start first and give her astrological take on a month, and then I'll jump in, or I'll go vice versa. We're going to do tag team here. That's how we roll. Anyway, Deb is a jet setter and she's on her way somewhere. She's in a hotel in the middle of, I don't know, San Francisco, fancy schmancy land. So she stopped just for us to do this for you. So let's get going. Deb, why don't you start and talk to us about this month of July? I got lots to say about it too, so you tell us what you see astrologically and I'll add the oracle reading on top.
Okay, so first of all, I'm in love with you and you look amazing.
I
But
love
someone
you.
had to say it because we're in the month of Leo. We're coming into Leo. We're leaving Cancer behind. So July is a lot of celebration. First of all, think about it. Finally, some of the masks for some of the countries are going down. We have this get up and go energy because fire is coming soon. But there's 4 planets in water in July. There is Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune, and the sun. So there's a lot of sensitivity, but it's the good feelings. This is so important. When water shows up, a lot of water, we tend to get emotional and we have a sensitivity and we tend to be reclusive, but the sun is out. So it's like a release all of a sudden. It's like happy birthday, Colette, and the ability for us to stand up, stand out, and feel our feelings. So the good news is we have 4 planets in water. Jupiter has been in Pisces all of June and it's leaving at the end of July. So it's created for the last 2 months, June and July, a softening. Like, remember how it was so
Yep.
edgy and everybody was so confused and we were all so scared? Then Jupiter went into Pisces, a very comfortable placement. It will leave on July 29th. So for the whole month of July, please enjoy the sweetness, the energetics. We also have Mercury in Virgo, Venus in Virgo. So it's not just being outside and feeling the celebratory energy, but it's also feeling like we've got order. And there's a
Right.
feeling of some semblance of reality coming back. And so enjoy July as an opportunity to see, like, oh God, it's almost like taking a deep breath. And it's grounding and it's sensitive and it's family and it's cuddling and it's being really responsive to our spiritual selves are very active. Like we're having faith again. It's activating our faith. So July is an upbeat month. Your turn.
Okay, so I have more to add to that. So I have the celebration card too, like which is so interesting because the 4 of Wands is the main event basically in the month of July. However, the next 2 cards talk about, what happens to us when we start to reconnect with our sensitivity. So we have the 4 of Pentacles and we've got the Queen of Pentacles, which is those Virgo planets. It gets us grounded, but it also gives us permission to let ourselves out of jail. So that kind of prison of our own making that is emotional, that's been kind of preventing us from mourning or feeling the grief that we might not have felt. So this is a poignant kind of melancholy connection time. Like we see a best friend like you, I would hug you like crazy, going, I miss you so much, stuff like that. And you guys would probably have people you haven't seen for a long time. And it's that sense of grief that comes because you haven't made the connection. You're so appreciative of it right now. So there's this mixed bag of feelings. It's not just yippee oh boy fun. It's deep. This is meaningful. And the grounded quality or the order is also about the sacred, right? So we've got that Virgoic sacred quality to this too of like, wow, this is so meaningful to me and what really counts to me. And I think we're going to be asking ourselves that too, at the same time wanting to get out there and make those connections with other people.
Also with nature, because Venus is
Yeah.
in Virgo, we're outside, it's summertime. It's a real opportunity because I love what you're saying. The deep feelings that have been held back for so long
Right.
are now, the floodgates are open. And so being outside and being with your family and being in love, it almost feels like a reunion month. Like it's time to
Yeah.
give give ourselves back to the good and the bad feelings, but not holding back so much.
Yes. And especially because we've been on patrol for a year and a half, right? And I think that the stress levels, we've gotten kind of rigid with the wall, like the inner walls. Like, I'm only going to allow myself to feel this much because it's too much. Everything felt too much for so long. I think we've built up some, that kind of pre-trauma, like, I got a wall, don't come near me. And then on the other hand, it's like, please touch me, right? So there's a mixed bag with this about what will we feel like, and there's an awkward quality to it too. So you see what I mean? There's all these nuances about coming into July, and also knowing.
And that is what you're describing, Cancer, and you are one. Like, talk
Yeah.
about the nuance of being a Cancer and having such a sensitivity, but being self-conscious about it, but wanting everyone to come over, but kind of liking everyone to stay away, Venus and Virgo. Like, it's one of those mixed things during July. Like, I'm so happy you're all here. When are you going?
Right. Well, that's how I am all the time.
But that's very Cancer. That's the conversation of July is,
Yeah.
well, Jupiter's in Pisces and you're feeling sensitive. It's only so much you can take. And we celebrate the fact that COVID taught us about being alone.
Yeah.
And we had to learn more. And at the same time, we can't wait to see each other. So it's a wonderful balance game during July. Open the doors, having outside, celebrating nature, and then suddenly wanting to say, can you all go home?
So do you mind if I start on August? Because I
You
like,
go, baby, you
okay.
go.
So let's take the thread of July, right? Because we end up in that, again, at the end, we're in Leo, there's all that fire. We've been to all that water planets, and then we get a little fiery. But the Six of Swords and the Page of Swords, the swords are the head. So this is air. So we've got more air going on in August, and Deborah will be able to tell us exactly if I'm accurate with that. So we're in our heads a little bit more, but I like it because it's let's plan. Let's get out the lists. Let's get really enthusiastic about making more order where we can and coming up with new ideas about more ways about how to get us safe, but not coming from a place of fear, more about being practical. There's a practicality about August that it's like, let's get down to business. The Justice card is in the center. And when I talk about the Justice card, that doesn't necessarily relate to social justice, although it might, but it's more about bringing things more into balance because our world has been so topsy-turvy, and our focus is on how do we bring things back to, and again, a new normal. It's not the old normal. It's how can we make this work? So it's all about how do we make it work in August. I can add more, but Deb, you add yours now.
Well, in the early part of August, the sun will be in Leo, opposite Saturn. And to your point, air, Jupiter goes back into air. So it was going into Pisces, but now it's in air, Saturn and Jupiter, and it's squaring Uranus. So there's literally a T-square, and it all released in Scorpio. So it's it's interesting what you said. I described it as a detached month,
right? Because
we're going to have this tension. So this is true for all Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpios, and including you, Colette, because you've got so much Leo, is during August, the momentum of organization and getting shit done, but from a detached place. Like, I'm going to talk about lists during this month. I'm going to say, if you're feeling stuck, or if you felt like July was too much playing, now's the time to get serious, because all the air in the heavens are requesting you to start talking and identifying what you want to do in the fall and how you're going to take advantage of the end of the summer by being able to be social, because that's still happening.
Yep.
And you're so right. There's 4 planets retrograde: Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto. So August is really a time to go backwards and say, everything that's been frustrating me as far as my inability to get mobilized, because I've been having too much fun during July.
Yeah.
August is like structure, organization. That would be a great time if you were going to get coached, or you were going to take a class and you were going to start organizing your dream about what classes you wanted in the fall. This is like, make a list, use your air, sit outside, read, all that air. You're so right. It's all about air detachment. And then that's the first part. And then Mercury goes into Virgo from the 12th on, and now we're really into like, so structures, organization, creating, preparing, and saying to yourself, summer's just about coming to an end, not quite, but by the end of August, and it's warm, you're going to look over and go, all you fixed signs that I named, you must make a list and get really focused. And for the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, it's such a great month because there's so much vitality and love in the air.
Yeah.
Because it's Venus is in Libra, Taurus and Aquarius, they're in a perfect relationship. So there's a lot of fun energy, but not for you fixed people. You are going to prepare and get grounded with your detached air list of what you want by the end of August.
So the other thing I want to say about August is there's an opportunity as well to trust in the safety that you have built, that you have made a decision on. So there's a practicality about emotional safety. So we are not so much in that morass as we were of hopelessness, because right? I mean, it was like we had to practice our faith in spite of what was happening in the conditions of our reality. Now the conditions are changing. And they are changing for the better globally, even though, yes, there's going to be stuff going on in different countries at different times, et cetera. You know, there's wars, there's all kinds of stuff. But the whole planet is on an ascension pattern anyway. All of us as a species are being required to evolve. And so it's like coming to out of this really difficult moment going, okay, I'm going to dust myself off right now. Okay, now I know how to set really healthy boundaries for myself right now. I have to remember how to do that. So that's also part of the list, you know, and it's okay to do that. We are no longer looking to protect ourselves or defend. It's more like, let's just have the healthy fences and make sure where the gates are that we can open up and do whatever, and we make them sacred. We've had plenty of practice for that.
Jupiter and Saturn both being in Aquarius, when it's crazy out there, what can we do to make a difference?
Exactly.
You can study your spiritual self. It's really the answer to every question.
Right.
Like in the name of Aquarius and humanitarianism, and what can I do when this mess is out there? You can study your own system, your own nature,
Right.
and then you can give the service to others. So Jupiter enters Aquarius again. It's once every 12 years, and Saturn. And they're really inviting us into metaphysical conversations. So that is how you contribute.
Yeah, exactly. And remembering that there are many paths and there's many things that you can study. So if I could just move into September, because I think it's very interesting that the King of Swords is the card that jumped out for me. And again, we're still with that air, but this is about clarity and asking for it, demanding it, but also having it mental clarity, because you're not all balled up emotionally with everything that's gone before. There is an order that we can now feel safe with or rely on or depend on, but we're asking for more clarity. And that sense of detachment that we started feeling in August still comes back again in September. Like it feeds September. Although I've got the Magician, which is all about taking the alchemy of all these different parts and bringing them together. And actually the focus of Oracle School is, who are you going to become? And same with what you study with Deb. So as September rolls in, we're asking those questions of ourselves. And then the Strength card, which is really the Leo card right? It's all about, how am I going to express that out in the world? How am I going to express it?
It's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny because there's a T square and it releases in Leo. Yeah, so that's so appropriate. So Venus enters Scorpio on September 11th. So we're going to get to your point. We're going to get serious. It takes us from that detached place. Now we're in the emotional body and we're saying, let's do something. And here's the T square. So Venus will be in Scorpio opposite Uranus and Taurus. And then those two planets are squaring Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, and the whole thing releases in Leo. So what does that mean in September? It means you have to matter. So the Strength card is the courage. I love the Strength card, that she puts her hand in this lion's mouth and she's fearless because she knows that she is strength and she is power and she's not afraid of anything.
I know.
So if fear has been hovering, this is going to be a month where you've got to do self-reliance. Yeah. Venus enters Scorpio. I'm going to go deep. There's a T square. It releases in Leo. I've got to give myself permission to invest in myself, to say yes to life, to take it up a notch, because it's really dependent on you. So that is so perfect.
Isn't it?
And it's really good. This is the other thing. It's really good for cardinal signs, for Aries, Cancers, Capricorns, and Libras this month. Yay. Because the sun will be in Libra. Yes, for you, September, there is a strong, because announcement, Mercury goes retrograde, write it down, September 27th to October 19th. So you want to use all of September leading up to it with that release in Leo to make it about you. I mean, it's not often that an astrologer and what are we calling you? A profound spiritual teacher encourages you to make it about you, because the more you study Venus and Scorpio, your depth, the greater you can give to others. So just be prepared for that retrograde. And the cardinal signs, particularly if you were starting a business or you wanted to get into a relationship again, You would do that during September.
Yeah. And October comes in with some interesting energy because it's not as potent. It's more of a diving into so we know that Mercury retrograde is in Libra at that time, right? So we're starting with the Page of Wands. We're starting with the Page of Wands with the the Four of Cups, pardon me. So the Page of Wands is starting something new, and it's taking, remember we were saying we want to start something in September, but it's keeping it going. It's like it's enthusiasm. It's the card that represents enthusiasm. But here it shows that we might have had to lose something before, that we've had to reshape our dream. And there's something being offered to us also out of the blue that is in a different form than we had expected, or that our emotional body can manage. So it's like, oh, I need to go over this. It could definitely be around relationships, partnerships. But what Deb was saying about last month about the partnership to the self, being understanding what had to die in you, which we've been doing all year long, all 18 months really, and then what gets reborn. And I think that this Mercury retrograde in Libra, and also what's beautiful, what is beautiful and what wasn't, and then can you shift your perception or perspective? And this is a card of kindness, generosity, and compassion, which is the Six of Pentacles. And I just want to throw one more thing in. I got a real hit that in October, there'll be some type of banking. It could be a global banking reset, but there's something that's going to be reset for the positive. And it does feel like we breathe easier economically. I'd love to hear what you have to say, Deb.
That's so funny. There's 4 planets in air for the month of October. Unusual. Breathe easier. It's in Libra. It's balancing things. Mm-hmm. There's Mars in Libra. Venus is in Libra. There's Venus enters Sag on the 8th, but yes, Mars is in Libra all month, and Jupiter finally goes direct in air. So breathing easier, balancing things, being able to look around and collecting information, and especially about relationship, because of course it's the month of Libra.
Right.
So this is a really good month for fire and air signs. So for all of you Leo, Sag, and Aries, and for Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, I would say look for October to get you motivated, and you're going to feel this upsurge of energy, not just about money, but about relationships. Right. And like, you know what, we're going to go do some therapy. Like it's the communication. That's the month of communication. There's 4 planets in air, and finally Jupiter's gone direct into Aquarius.
Do you think too, because that little enthusiasm was like it's a fire starter month also. So exactly. That the new ideas start coming to us in a way that maybe we thought we had it all, like maybe in August, the things that we set in motion in the summertime now gets polished. It's like, let's get some enthusiasm for the polishing part here as well. Do you think
and also because it's so cardinal, being that we're in Libra, it's a start. It's like whatever we started in August, and then September, we got that incredible momentum. And now October is like, you know what? I'm going to do this. Like, right. This would be a great startup date. If anyone's wondering, like, when should I start my business, or when should I start my school? When should I start my new project? October is that energetic month.
That's great. I love November. I looked at these cards when I put them down. I'm like, I want to get to November right away. So November feels like the big payoff month towards the at least in the tarot, it does. The 10 of Cups.
What are the cards?
The 10 of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the 2 of Pentacles, which is great for business. So yes. This is the 10 of Pentacles, exactly. So with that is that if I have put my work in, again, this is for the people who have really done their work. And I'm talking about work in like work as in business, but also in the various levels of change that we've had to go through, the transformation work. Now it's the big payoff. We're starting to see it. We're moving things along. We're feeling good. This is a card of sovereignty. We feel like we know what we're doing. It's the banking month too. Like when I say banking month, yes. it means that you have invested in yourself up until now. Now you can withdraw from your own personal bank, right? That's also part of it. And it does feel, this is kind of great for partnerships, but also for just wheeling and dealing, if you will. So that sense of business, again, it feels very like economically moving things forward, having new ideas about it, and being successful at it. And success being in different terms. Remember, we're not seeing necessarily success as financial success, as we're seeing that feeling of creative success as well that shows up in November. What do you say, Deb?
It's focus. You're describing focus. Mars and Mercury go into Scorpio. So think about that. So what you just described. So what Scorpio is known for is they can aim at something and they don't stop.
Right.
So this is the momentum, and it's about money, and it's about results, and it's about like putting your money where your mouth is.
Right.
And really, so November is a very solid. The first 2 weeks are a little challenging for the fixed signs again, which would be Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. It's the thing that you described is if you take the fixed energy, because it's a big T square releasing in Leo again, it goes on for the last 6 months. But if you took it and you use the Mars and Scorpio to focus, and we've got these positive cards to suggest we can do it.
Yes.
And the Two of Pentacles is like, I've made a decision. I've got it now. That's a real month of fruition and follow through and being able to like feel your conviction. Of course, it's Scorpio.
So I want you to do December first, and I'll add to December. But would you say then as well for November, just like, when you look at it, we're really rebuilding things, but that also this focus is that what we've changed can now, it's like rubber hits the road, boots on the ground, and we feel that we're seeing evidence. This feels to me that I feel happy that I'm finally seeing the actual evidence. Like I see the up level, I see the upgrade. It's there, I can touch it, I can see it, and I know we are not the same. And we can celebrate that we have changed in a way that's beneficial for more than just the I, more than just the me. It's the we. It's becoming more second nature. What do you think? I
agree. And then you want me to jump in with December?
Just you jump into December, yeah.
So December, the first 2 weeks, Mars is still in Scorpio. Venus is in Capricorn. Talk about focus. We've got those 2 planets in Aquarius that are standing steady, and Sag comes in for the first all the way to the 22nd of December. Finally, there's like the fun factor, because Scorpio and Capricorn and Aquarius are like, they're so driven. I think we just have to remember in December to relax a little. Like, why do we get so goal oriented? Well, that's because we had so much Virgo. We had all that energy starting off in July with Mercury and Venus. Then we had all this Mars and Scorpio the last month. And now here in December, Capricorn comes in. Everyone's telling us, why can't we just have fun once in a while? That's what Sagittarius is saying this month. Like, you guys, before Christmas, there is permission to let there be a little bit of a fun factor. That's what's sad. That's interesting that right before Scorpio comes in, it's heavy, it's intense, it's money, it's focused. And then Sag comes in and goes, oh, shut up, everybody. Can we just have some fun? Why are you all so focused? And then Capricorn's right behind going, get back to focus. Well, Sagittarius needs a full turn. It's true.
Oh my God, I love that. Because here's the thing, the cards are actually wanting us to focus. But wait, the cards are both focus and play, because it's got the playing the castles in the air. We want to go make castles in the air. It's time to dream and have fun, etc. And there's a victory over the part of us that needs to focus. So the playful part has victory over the one in us that needs to focus and looks back, because it's not looking forward. This focus card, the King of Wands, is looking the other way. It's looking to the past. So it's still working on stuff, right? And here it says,
but it's a King of Fire, so the King of Wands is there?
Yeah, the King of Fire is looking back at everything he's accomplished and still working on that, moving it forward, but pulling it with him. Whereas the Chariot, which is the Cancer card as well too, the Chariot's going, wait a sec, okay, we need equal fun and equal, because it's the black, the white, it's the victory over both. You see the card that's got that real, I have victory, my Chariot's there, but I have the yin yang, the balance of both. And it's saying you cannot just do this. You cannot just focus, work. Although we will feel driven, there is a reminder that this playful, dreamy, fun factor stuff that Deb is talking about also has to be in equal balance because we're not going to, there's so much going on.
Is it the Seven of Cups? Is that
yeah,
what that
Seven of Cups.
Yeah. So here's the deal. It's Christmas and we get a little scattered and we indulge and we eat too much and we start to think about having, party time, which is rightly ours. And it is really the time we can finally have Christmas. When was the last time we hung out with our family?
Right.
Like this will be the craziest Christmas ever.
Yep.
But you want to keep your awareness on that. God, I mean, it's been this summer, the whole July, August, September, October has so much focus to it.
Yeah.
that it would not be surprising that we just need to go, the Chariot's like, don't indulge too much. You're going to lean over to the right. Don't get yourself too scattered. You're going to have too many things going on. So we just have to stay in the middle with permission to indulge, party, buy presents,
Yeah.
and celebrate, but don't take your eye off whatever you started just behind you.
And doesn't it feel though too, this second half of this year, more solid and more, I hate to say back to normal because it's not what I mean.
We're not even close to
It's
back to
no, but
normal.
it's like
But I
back
see
to,
your point.
do you know what I mean? It's like back to work, or it's towards something. It feels like now I have a map. I can trust that I can make the map. I can draw the map. I can step forward. I can be focused. I'm no longer worrying about the scattered quality of the uncertainty. So we're not really being led by the same flavor of uncertainty that we did for the past 18 months. That's
And look
what's
at all the
changed.
fixed energy. You're right. I
Yeah.
think what's being asked of us is that we have to become self-reliant with all the fixed energy for the next 4 months, all those squares releasing in Scorpio, releasing in Leo. You have to become your own authority. And that's what you and I both teach.
Yeah.
We take people's attention off the outward authority and we
Into
give
the
it
inner.
back to you discovering yourself. And that's the only sense of stability we've got.
Yeah, and like learning to think for yourself as well too, and manage your. I think that everybody's kind of got the hang of like we have to manage how much and information that comes into us, how much time we spend on social media. You know, the manner and the quality of our engagements and our interactions with others are really also they're being required of us to get a little bit more serious about and more focused because we don't have time for the BS anymore. It's like really, it's like, you know, bring it down and think for yourself and trust that you can choose regardless of any outer condition that might require, you know, a response or reaction. You still have choice and to build the world the way you want to build it. Even though, yeah, there's some restrictions and limitations that are there, but they're changing too. Everything is like a moving, like what do you call that when those in the escalators in the airport, the moving sidewalk, right? It's a moving sidewalk. So the only fixed moment is you, your soul, your soul's blueprint, your destiny. All of those things is about you and you. It's not
And
about.
if you've watched for this long, if you've been watching this long, just now in this little video, it means that you have a fascination with all things tarot and astrology. And that means that you're a healing agent. So I really want to call you forward because the fixed energy ultimately that's being requested over this next 6 months is for you to become your own authority.
Exactly.
And in order to do so, of course, you go study yourself and then you help others.
Exactly.
And isn't that why Colette and I do what we do? Because we want to help you become the leaders. Because boy, did we, the last year, 2020 was all cardinal energy. And so it was being forced to be our leader. This next 6 months is all fixed energy that's being Jupiter in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus. So you have to become your own stability. That's the message.
I love that. And we can. And that's the good thing about all the cards too. It felt very hopeful. I remember when we did that reading the first time and we were like, oh, I don't know. There's something.
And I knew that June was come up light. And that, that was a difficult 6 months, January to June.
Yeah,
it
up,
didn't
down,
go
up.
fast. But now there's some relief, you guys, and we should be celebrating what really matters in life.
What really matters exactly, which is this July, that's our focus. What matters most? And it's okay to let yourself feel some of those feelings that you've been putting on ice. You know, and maybe you're going to get a little sloppy when you hug somebody, like, oh, I missed you so much. That's okay. All right.
That's so funny. You know what? I sneezed when you said what matters most. That's so funny. I sneezed just now.
Oh
so
my gosh.
It always tells me that what matters most is your self-reliance and your own inner stability with all this fixed energy. And for you fixed signs, if you're feeling pressured, ask for help.
So what I'd like to do is just kind of wrap it up for everybody. Thank you so much for joining me, Deb. So bottom line, everybody, love is also really important. We are reclaiming the love that we have for our fellows, our kindness, our compassion.
And ourselves, said the astrologer.
Exactly, and ourselves. Thanks for joining us, Deborah Silverman. Everybody, you can find her at DeborahSilvermanAstrology.com and, of course, ColetteBaron-Reid.com. You know where to find me. And we were so happy to do this for you. We love you all. Mwah. Take care. Thank you.
I love you, Colette.
I love you. Bye. Okay, that was our fantastic guest astrologer and psychologist, Deborah Silverman. And I just want to remind you that tickets went on sale for Oracle Palooza Virtual. And if you don't know what Oracle Palooza Virtual is, oh my God, it's a 3-day interactive event online, but I can see you and maybe talk to you. And oh my God, it's so wild. And if people come from all over the world. Last year, we had people from 53 countries. You can make friends with them. It's just so amazing. And we take you through an incredible reset. We need a reset, a spiritual reboot. And it's amazing. So go check it out. We've got a video there to tell you all about it, and there's a link somewhere. Go click on that link and come and join us. You will have, and there's swag boxes and cool t-shirts. I'm not even going to say anymore. I'm just saying, okay? Like, it's amazing. All right. See you soon.